Welcome to the channel. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Join me on today's video where I will be reviewing the PD1709 by Pagani design. Of course, as you can tell, it is a Tudor homage. So as I said in the unboxing of this video, I won't go through my usual full length review on this one. I have reviewed the first BB58 homage they came out with, and I also reviewed the GMT version not too long ago. So with this one, I'll break it down to likes and dislikes, well, what's good, what's bad, effectively, any QC issues. And of course, let's start off with dimensions and specifications as usual. So this watch does have a diameter of 42 millimeters. You do have a overall thickness of 14 millimeters and a lug to lug of 50 millimeters. So a fairly large watch. Now, specifications wise, you've got a box style sapphire crystal. You do have a full stainless steel case construction, including crown, bezel, case back, and the bracelet. You also have a stainless steel bezel insert, which is fully brushed, and that is the main difference with this particular model. You've got 100 meters of water resistance. You got a screw down crown and a screw down case back. Now, the movement that this watch runs is not the usual Seig Epson NH35 movement. As you guys are well aware, there's a bit of a shortage around the world. So this watch is running the Miyota 8215 movement. I took off the case back to confirm that. Now, this movement does hand wind. It's got a date function at 3 o'clock. It's got the same specifications as the Seig Epson NH35. The only difference is that this watch does not hack. Now, where do I stand on this movement? I, of course, prefer the Seig NH35. It's slightly more updated. In terms of reliability, this movement is as good as the Seig NH35. Now, there is one slight issue with it. Well, there's two. People complain about the loudness of the rotor, and the second thing is there's something called an indirect mechanism that this watch uses, which causes the second hand to skip. So let me see if I can demonstrate that here. So as you can see that second hand jump in, and it's gone to like a 3 tick a second. You can see it's almost falling, and if I turn it back straight, you'll see that even back out and go into a 6 tick a second normal movement. So yeah, I mean, it's not a defect, it's just how this movement performs. It does not affect the accuracy, strangely enough, and you know, they remain, like I said, reasonably accurate and reliable, very similar to the Seig NH35. Now, with regards to price, this watch is around between 90 to 110. Of course, it'll be a bit cheaper, or it'll be around the £90 mark in the sales, which means it's around $120 to $150, which is not super cheap. I think it's you know, a decent price bracket. The main differences, one of which I mentioned, was the bezel insert. I think it looks a lot better. It doesn't, you know, it's not as bright as it was before, because they didn't really get the colors right on the bezel inserts, but this one just looks really good, and I do prefer the look of this one over the other color options. I think that's quite cool. The second thing which you will notice is, you know, the color on the crown is black. It's not that, you know, super aluminium red. However, it's a lot shorter as well, so that's I suppose okay. It's better than it was. So as I said, I'll break down what's good, what's bad, and any QC issues. So what do I like about it? You know, the sapphire crystal is good. I do like the dial. I like that it's not this, you know, dead matte black. You do have this slightly glossy effect on the dial. All the hour markers are really good, applied, polished, etc. The quality of the hands are good. I'm not a huge fan of these, you know, snowflake style hands. I never have been, but you know, Pagani using them for this model. I do like the steel bezel insert, very good, no issues on that, and the red triangle does really set it off. The coin edge bezel, it's okay for the most part. Has it significantly improved? No, Paganis have always had a problem with the bezels. This one's, it's not quite there yet. You know, it is a 90 click as I mentioned. You know, the one thing I can say, it does line up, and the movement for the most part is okay as well. Just struggling slightly with these gloves on. As you can see, it does line up. There is still just a slight touch of movement in there. You can see that. Back play, none. So the bezels are inconsistent. I've seen good bezels from Pagani design. I've seen some really poor bezels. What else do I like? I like the general, the overall case finish. I think it looks quite good. There's no sharp edges, and it's reasonably well done. Only when you zoom in do you see some issues, and that would go on to, I think, the bad or the QC issues, just on the edges where this highlighted chamfered edge meets the brushed side. You can see it does sort of cross over slightly. I picked that up on the last watch that they did, so it's not as clean and crisp as you'd like it to be. but it is a £90 watch, so you know, maybe you have to manage your expectations slightly on that. And the other thing I do really like is the bracelet. I think the bracelet is really well done. It is a 5-link bracelet. These side pieces do come off when you do decide to size it. It's a solid end link bracelet, fully solid links. It is a faux rivet style bracelet. You do have the screw-in links. I don't have any issue with that. I think it's a lot easier to size up the bracelet. The clasp is good. I like the way they've done that, fully milled, of course, you know, and this normal flip lock clasp, 2 spring pushers, and they also give you a diver's extension, which is really good. You don't see that often, even at higher price ranges. Now, yes, it is very simple, but it works. It doesn't need to be anything too fancy. So the finishing on the bracelet as well, generally really good. Fully brushed, of course. It does have really fine brushing present. And the other thing is, they do give you plenty of links. In fact, I can actually slip this watch on the way it is on the 6.5-inch wrist. Oh, wrist check, I am wearing the Mathé Tissot Explorer Homage. And so what's bad? Well, the main thing, the Lume. The Lume hasn't improved over the last ones. It did slightly improve, but that has been a good while. It still hasn't got to the point where it needs to be. It still is a bit patchy. The Lume on the hands is far worse. Usually we see it the other way around. And you know, when it comes to hands and dials and Lume, there's not much price difference in there at all. We're talking literally dollars. So that's something they really do need to get a lot better. Aside from the Lume, I don't think there's anything else bad with this watch. You do have a couple of QC issues. I'd put the play in the bezel rotation and the inconsistency down to QC. And one more thing I did pick up, I don't know if you guys can see that, there is a fiber in the dial. Let's see if I can catch it again. I think it has moved, but anyway, yeah, that's something that was there. That's, you know, poor assembly line practices, not a very clean environment. That does happen on a lot of watches. And nothing else really in terms of QC, but overall for 90 quid, what can you say? Yeah, it's a very reasonable watch. There are others. Steeldive is a great option, but Steeldive are also very inconsistent in the QC, and you know, some heimdallr watches might come in at 90. I can't think of any at the top of my head, but yeah, again, inconsistencies galore. So as it stands, I think for the price range, you do have a lot on the bracelet that not a lot of watches give you. Bracelet's really good, case is really good, screw down, etc. like I said, and I do like the looks of it. I like this brushed bezel insert. So that's the review. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next video.